Yeah, so my name is Max Reichard. I graduated back in 2020 from UNC with a major in business from Keenan Flagler. And at the time, I really wanted to go out and find a 9 to 5 job, just like just about anyone coming out of Keenan Flagler. But obviously, COVID put some restrictions on that, and it was quite difficult to find anything. My mom was looking; she had started this business in plus size outerwear, which is an incredibly niche business, and she was looking to kind of go more hands off. It was a pretty decent little Amazon business at the time. And I pretty much stepped in at that point and said, you know what, I'm not doing anything other than sitting around. There's no jobs to be had. So I kind of took the leap of faith and decided to step into the family business, and it's just been a crazy 6 years now since then. We've almost quadrupled the size of the business. We've shifted our entire business model 3 or 4 times, and I think we're really at a good place right now where the business is consistently year over year growing, and profitability is also increasing. So I think I've learned a lot in these 6 years, definitely way more than I learned in all my years of schooling. And there's been some failures, there's been a lot of successes, but it's been a wild ride.
There's a lot of ways I could go down what you just said. There's a lot of learnings. First and foremost, yeah, I've learned way more being in the real business world than I have at 4 years in Keenan Flagler and then another year and a half in the Master of Accounting program. And that's not to knock them. It's just those schools are kind of more built towards, like you said, the people who are going into those corporate 9 to 5 jobs, and it definitely takes a certain level of grit to go into family business. Me and you had a similar start in our careers that way. But what do you think was the difference between joining a family business and kind of tweaking it from the inside rather than starting a business from scratch or even going into 9 to 5?
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously the advantage of not starting from zero. When you're starting from zero, it's starting with the idea, and I didn't necessarily have to like come up with the idea, which I am very grateful for because I think I kind of thrive in that more intermediate stage of like being able to tweak and figure and optimize for growth. The idea phase is definitely something that honestly still to this day scares me a little bit just because it is so much harder to kind of validate and find and have a like proof of concept. But yeah, it definitely has its advantages. It also has its disadvantages just because when I came in, things were definitely not set up remotely close to how I would want a business to be run. It was very archaic, and it just kind of comes down to. I'm sure you experience this as well. Like coming into your parents' business, our parents are from a different generation, and like my mom specifically is definitely not like super tech savvy, and like our inventory was being tracked on a Google spreadsheet. We had 2,000 SKUs, and every time a sale came through, we were going in and manually adjusting, removing one from inventory, which led to huge amounts of opportunity for human error across our entire staff. So, there was a lot of groundwork to be done from day one. Like one of the very first things I did was figure out how to, bring us into the modern era in terms of like stock keeping and inventory tracking. And that was a huge undertaking that took a lot of time from day one. And if you're starting your own business, if I was, that would be something that I would have done on day one when we didn't have 2,000 SKUs. So, there are disadvantages to stepping in to a kind of established business, but obviously there are a lot more advantages than disadvantages.